What is the plan to remove our debt, to erase it entirely, so that that $84 million a day that Canadians pay in interest can go to programs in Canada for Canadians?
Good question. I don't want to hyper-politicize this, but you got to know, man, I didn't dig you into this hole. Stephen Harper dug us into this hole. God help us. The current deficit is about $45 billion. I have to dig you out. We've set a target to get deficit down to 1% of GDP within 2 years, and then to get it down back to balance as soon as we possibly can. And that means, and I can't do it by raising your taxes. That's the key thing here. It is tough and tight out there, right? So what I have to do is be able to, what we've decided to do is pay corporate tax at 18%. That will save the country between $5 and $6 billion a year. That's where I get the money to invest in education. I don't do it by adding to the deficit. And then we have to look at all the programs, and we have to make sure, are they serving Canadians' interests? And the problem that you're putting your finger on is a very real one. Right now, interest rates are basically about zero in real terms. What happens if we get an interest rate rise? Suddenly, this deficit we've got now gets absolutely unmanageable. And Canadians know that in their bones. If there's an interest rate rise, oh boy, we're all in trouble. Our mortgages go up, but the national debt goes up. The costs we pay will keep on increasing. That's why we are so committed to deficit reduction targets that will get us there. And remember our story. Remember our story. We inherited the Mulroney deficit. Remember, $43 billion. We got us back to balance. It was tough. There was occasionally blood on the walls, but we got it done. We were able to reinvest in healthcare. We were able to leave in 2006 with the best balance sheet of any country in the G8 countries. We had a $13 billion surplus. So this government took a $13 billion surplus in January 23rd, 2006, and have turned it into what is now a $45 billion deficit. And it did it with one of the single most wasteful expenditure of money in the history of Canadian government, which was the $1.2 billion spent in 72 hours at the G8, G20 summit for sheer waste, for sheer misuse of taxpayers' money. That will endure in history as the stupidest decision any government has made with your money. And we can't do that. So I want to salute you for asking the question, because it's fundamental to public finance. And it gets to an issue about the morality of politics. I can't load the cost of my choices on your children and grandchildren. We got to pay our freight, right? That's why everything in that platform is costed. None of it will add to deficit. And if we get the confidence of the people on May the 2nd, we will reduce the national debt. Thank you for the question.
Our concern